How expensive is it to live in Cambridge?
So as a student, it's actually reasonably priced to live in Cambridge. We only pay our rent for the short times that we're here. So most universities have slightly longer terms than us. We only have 8 weeks, and then maybe we'll pay rent for them 8 weeks, and maybe a week on either side of it. We don't pay rent during the holidays. We take all our stuff home or leave it in storage, so we don't have to pay rent there. That cuts off a few months. Also, college. Depending on what college you go to, will subsidise your rent. So rent in college is already quite cheaper than if you were to get private accommodation elsewhere at other universities, and they also subsidise a lot of other things. So for example, food in Queen's is a lot cheaper than it would be if you were to kind of go out and get it. So it's quite reasonable, and again, because of that short term, you're only buying food for the 8, 9, 10 weeks you're here, not the entirety of for a longer time. Other than that, there's a lot of kind of student-run activities to get involved in, and because these are student-run, they tend to be quite cheap. You can get theatre tickets for as cheap as £7 at the local theatre for loads of student plays, and so socialising as well is very well priced as well.
What financial support is there?
So the University of Cambridge has the Cambridge Bursary, which is available to anyone whose family income is lower than a certain amount, and depending on your family income will determine how much of that bursary you get. All the details of that can be found online. If a quick Google search of the Cambridge Bursary will tell you the different details and the different levels of that. Inside of college itself, there's also a key point of contact for all students is their tutor, and their tutor is the person they'll go to if they have any personal needs, including financial needs. And so I know of people who they might not be able to cover all of their rent, or they're struggling to budget or whatever else, and so they often contact their tutor, and the tutors have emergency funds. I know of people who have forgotten to return their library books for ages, and so they end up getting massive fines. And then they go to their tutors and say, "Well, I can't really afford to pay this fine," and then the tutor's like, "Okay, we'll cancel it for you," and that can happen at times. So if I know. When I was applying to Cambridge, I remember one person I'd spoken to, who was a researcher here, said that actually one of Cambridge's kind of key points is that they don't want finance to be a barrier to you being able to study here. So if there is a need that you have financially, I know the university and the college are very committed to making sure that can be helped, and they can help you in any way.
Are there any opportunities for funding in relation to your studies?
So I know there's a lot of so I know college specifically, and as well as faculties, so different departments, and the law department, for example, they all have their different kind of travel funds. And say, for example, if you want to do your dissertation and you want to do your research in another country, you can make applications for that. I know the law faculty especially is very well funded, and so for law there's a lot of opportunities. If you want to do certain things, there's a lot of also kind of exchange programs. So I know we have links with different universities where you can go to a university for a term or something, or for a certain amount of time, and then students from there will come to Cambridge, a university in another country that is. And also if you need. So Queen's, in relation to law, has a small grant available for when you're buying your textbooks, so that when you buy your textbooks, you can actually get part of the money back from the college. Yes, there is actually quite a significant amount in relation to your studies if you did want to maybe take your studies further and do a certain bit of research in a certain area that you wouldn't be able to do in college.